When most players choose the arachnid faction, they opt for a spider build. However, that isn't your only option. One lesser-known arachnid is the camel spider, or more officially, the shrouded, a build shrouded in myth and legend, some of which may make them seem more or less viable than they actually are. So, in this video, we will discuss the camel spider's base stats and special abilities, among other things, and determine whether they are a viable build. Just to let you know, before I accidentally create a new myth, despite belonging to the arachnid faction, camel spiders are not spiders. With it out of the way, let's begin. The camel spider has some of the highest mobility among arachnids. More specifically, they are optimized for endurance, and are able to traverse huge distances without ever stopping to replenish stamina. This doesn't mean their top speed is low. However, in short bursts, camel spiders can reach speeds of 10 miles per hour, although they cannot maintain this speed for extended periods due to the insane stamina cost this would have on a build their size. Thanks to their high mobility over long distances, camel spiders didn't need to opt for an ambush playstyle, which in the correct circumstances can allow them to rack up more XP. Of course, such a high speed requires a lot of food to sustain, so camel spiders need to constantly feed to maintain their mobility. Now, there is a common misconception among the evolution life community that the camel spider possesses a powerful jump ability, and is able to leap up to 3 feet into the air, allowing it to eat the stomachs of camels, or lay eggs in them, or whatever, which contributes greatly to their mobility. But this isn't true. Shroudeds, which by the way probably got the name camel spider due to this myth, do not possess a powerful leap, and their high mobility mostly just comes from their good top speed and endurance. The camel spider's other base stats are not bad either. To defeat enemies in PvP and acquire the food needed to sustain their playstyle, camel spiders have powerful, non-venom injecting cutlassery, which are able to tear through smaller builds such as other invertebrates, including large groups of ants, lizards, snakes, rats and even birds, not to mention inflicting a good amount of pain on larger builds like humans, which if coupled with a well-used hiss, can be very effective at lowering their opponent's resolve and getting out of situations where the player is cornered and unable to flee. Side note, not all camel spiders possess the hissing ability, since they lack webs or pincers, in order to grasp onto prey out of range for the cutlassery moving at high speeds. Camel spiders spent XP on evolving large paddy palps, with sticky organs at the tips, which are ideal for holding onto and manipulating objects. In terms of defense, shroudeds just have a basic arthropod exoskeleton, and spend no XP on further leveling it up. Of course, the standard arthropod exoskeleton is by no means terrible. It is very good at shielding against weaker attacks, particularly slashes. It's just that there's nothing unique to the camel spider in terms of defense, so I'm mostly skipping this stat. In terms of life, some players believe that camel spiders are half a meter long or something, which gives them one of the highest life stats among arachnids. The truth is that while it is technically possible for an arthropod to grow to that size in the current update, camel spiders cannot, and are usually only around 5 inches long, which while not huge, still gives them decent life, not to mention aiding with the next stat, stealth. Again, like defense, camel spiders didn't spend much XP on this. Their mediocre stealth is mostly just due to basic adaptations like body coloring of a similar color to their desert biome surroundings, as well as their nocturnal playstyle, which makes them harder to detect for builds which rely on sight. Speaking of which, during the day, camel spiders generally try to avoid the sun by burrowing into the ground, which is a common and viable tactic employed by many desert builds for avoiding heat damage and unnecessary water loss. However, if disturbed, they will look for other shady areas, including in the shadows of other players such as humans. Thus, if the player casting the shadow moves, the camel spider will seem to chase them, when really, these builds just want to hide in their shadows and avoid losing life to the sun. Overall, while slightly lacking in special abilities, the camel spider's good base stats, especially mobility and damage, make it a solid arachnid build. earning it a spot in B tier. Though not dominant by any means, this build strategy for survival should not be underestimated, considering how it's been playable ever since around the time of the Carboniferous update 300 million years ago, which, while not as impressive as some other chelicerates like horseshoe crabs, is certainly long enough to prove their viability, which is why I rank them in B tier. But do you agree with this conclusion? Is the camel spider actually mid tier, or should it be ranked higher or lower on the tier list? Please share what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button with a chelicerate and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with all your soul pugid friends on social media. Thanks for watching, and just to let you know, the chelicerate faction includes arachnids, pycnogonids aka sea spiders, horseshoe crabs, and the no longer playable eurypterids, more famously referred to as sea scorpions. Let me know if you would like a video on any of those builds.